this is pretty exciting. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ross. I get to host conversations like this for Good Shepherd, and I am joined by Zac Larson. Zac, welcome.
Fun to be here, Ross.
It is fun to be here, Zac. You're right. I'm just in this new office. The shelves are all unpacked. And if you're listening to this on audio, you have no idea what I'm talking about, because today, what Zac and I are going to talk about is not financial health, is not how to be a good dad, is not all these things that Zac is an expert on. But I heard, Zac, that you're about to ride a bike, and maybe you are an expert bike rider, but can you tell people a little bit about what you're about to be taking a part of?
I'm not an expert bike rider, Ross.
That's good.
I found I'm average at a lot of things that I like to try things, and that's what this ride is all about. So years ago, I wanted a challenge for my 40th birthday.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to join this ride and ride across the state of Iowa. And a few of my crazy friends joined me on that adventure. And some of us fell in love with riding. And so we pick a different state every year and we ride 100 miles. And as I've told people about that, the most common thing I hear is, sounds fun, but you're stupid.
Sure.
The second thing is, I could never do that. And that's the part I really question, because I think people can. I think people can do way more than they ever give themselves credit for. And so that's how the idea of this ride came about. We call it the Solstice Century. Century meaning we're going to attempt to ride 100 miles. And we do it on the summer solstice. So we have the day of longest light to give us the best chance to reach our goal.
Oh, wow. That's very logical. Okay. So I know that this year particularly, you are riding for some cause that's a cause that's close to Good Shepherd's heart. But can you let folks know a little bit about what this year makes this year specific, and the invitation you have to folks who maybe want to participate?
Yeah, so it's a two-part challenge. One is physical. You're undertaking something that's going to put some strain and stress on your mind and your body. But I think people thrive in those situations when they put their mind to it. So last year we had high schoolers that did it, and one of them said it was the hardest and coolest thing he's ever done. I had a guy in their 50s who was in tears afterwards, not of pain, but of excitement, and saying, like, this is the hardest thing I've done in so many years, and it's the most gratifying. I had a woman who this experience helped her finally take some steps in her life that she wanted to do, and she changed careers because of this
Wow.
whole training experience that just started to shift her mind.
Sure.
And so we had high schoolers all the way up to people in their 80s. We had a couple in their 80s ride it on a tandem bike last year.
That's
And
awesome.
so this invitation does not go out to cyclists. This goes out to anybody who says, I can do something hard. I'm going to put my mind and body to it.
Sure.
And we're going to do it for a good cause. So our company, plus a number of other local area companies, sponsor the day so that everything's free for riders. And if you don't have a bike, that's the second thing that comes up as an excuse for people. We'll help you rent one. And then the third thing is, we ask people to raise money for causes they care about. So we came up with three buckets. There's a mental health services bucket, a community services bucket, and a youth and family services bucket.
Cool.
And they're all organizations that Good Shepherd support. Well, not all, but I think almost all of them are organizations that Good Shepherd supports regularly. And so it's just another way to have an impact on the community. And some people have said it's kind of scary or awkward to fundraise in my network, and all of them who go out and do it get incredible affirmation,
Yeah.
with the most common response being, I will gladly write a check as long as I don't have to ride.
Okay. Great. Great. So people, there's obviously the invitation, and folks can see more information about dates, times, how to register, what some of this process looks like, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. But just to kind of dive into something you said, people are going to go, oh, I can never do that. And for a lot of you, great. We would happily have you write a check. Can you tell people about some of the organizations that benefit from the ride and what you guys do?
Yeah, so all the details, as you said, are at solsticecentury.com, like summer solstice and century ride. So solsticecentury.com. And you can go on that list and click donate now, and you'll see a list of riders. So if you know somebody go ahead and support them. If you want to ride, click the button for details to sign up, and we'll be happy to have you as part of the ride. But the organizations that we're supporting that are ultimately the reason we do this. And so one of them is Mental Health Services. SamariCare, Grow Wellness Foundation are both nonprofit counseling centers that increase access and awareness about mental health care.
Yep.
And then an organization right in our Good Shepherd backyard called Max's Mission, which is a suicide awareness organization to celebrate the lives of those that have been lost. So that's one bucket. A second has causes that people are passionate about. Community services, DuPage Pads, Hesed House, and Little Friends are the recipients of that bucket.
Love that.
And so those are well-known organizations in our community that are dealing with food and housing insecurity. And then Little Friends is one that has amazing programs for people, young adults and adults of all abilities.
Sure.
That they do phenomenal things in our community.
Mm-hmm.
So third bucket is youth and family, and there's an organization called 16 Days that helps families who are going through childbirth situations where they have a newborn who's terminally ill, and trying to give that family support and time with that newborn.
Oh gosh.
Kind of a heartbreaking
But
story.
incredible people and incredible work. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. And then 413 is an international children's outreach ministry that a lot of people through Good Shepherd know as well.
Yeah. Now, those 413 supports a lot of really cool work, most specifically with folks at From Cherish Matoto, Kenya, which is, if you're watching this from Good Shepherd, it's something that you know quite well. I'm not going to go super far into the Cherish story because, again, there's other ways for you to understand a little bit about why that school and orphanage means so much to us here at Good Shepherd.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Hey, we'll get right back to the conversation in just a second, but I want to make sure you are aware of something we are offering this summer here at Good Shepherd, which is a Revelation for the Rest of Us deep dive class. Pastor Elizabeth Lecca is going to be walking this class through the conversations, the thoughts, the questions that come up while all of us as a church are diving into our Revelation series. We are spending the summer walking through a book of the Bible that brings up more questions, more misinformation, and honestly, just more confusion around scripture than any other book. And I am so grateful for both Scott McKnight, the resource that he provides in this book, Revelation for the Rest of Us, that is the foundation of this class, but also for this community that wants to lean into a conversation like this. So this class is going to include lectures, weekly homework and Bible study, and group discussion. If you're able to be there in person, it's going to be best, but their sessions are going to be recorded. So do make sure you check out the links in the show notes so you can dive into this class. I promise you it is going to enrich your scripture experience. And if you are someone who calls this place home, I don't want you to walk through the Revelation series going, wow, I can't believe they picked Revelation to do over the summer. If you're going to be here, I want you to be here. And this Revelation class is going to be an amazing way for you to enrich your own discipleship during the summer. So can't wait for you to be a part of it every Tuesday night. And let's get back to the conversation. But what I'm curious about for you, man, like, yes, people can go write the check. But what I know about you, and you talked about these stories in the beginning, is you want everyone who can ride to go ride. You want everyone to experience this, and you believe that anyone can really experience this. If someone's listening to this and there's a lot of people who will listen to this who could write a check, but they could also go ride. How do you, you talked about when people go to the site, they're going to see some names. Some of them will see names that they know. How did you, what was it like to talk to some of those people and see them catch that vision and start to go, okay, yeah, I am going to go do this? Because you already told the end of the story, but I imagine there's a lot of training that has to happen to get comfortable to ride 100 miles.
Well, there is. There's probably a few people who are listening who are like, I could do that. They're the same people who just signed up to run the Chicago Marathon for World Vision or whatever, and they just do it. They're gifted that way.
Yeah.
But for most people, it does take a lot of training. And so the other question that I often get is, well, what if I don't finish? And there's no public shaming. This is a community spirited ride. Like we do two different loops. So you ride out 10 miles, you come back to the center, you get food, beverages, support from everybody. You ride another loop, you come back, and if at some point your body or your mind gives during the day, then you just celebrate the progress you made. And hey, I rode 60 miles, I rode 80 miles. That's farther than I've ever done.
Right.
There's no punishment for not getting to 100. If you do get to 100, there's a lake right there at Wayland Lake in Bolingbrook. We all jumped in it last year. So,
Wow. So some
however
people
a
listen
person
to
wants
this
to,
and choose to not finish just so that they don't have to jump into a lake, Zach.
that might very well be.
As your publicist in this matter, I would encourage you to wait on the lake thing until they're there.
Yes.
You have peer pressure. No, I love that. And I am glad that you make that plain for people, because I do think something that happens for folks with an opportunity like this is they are so focused on, like you said earlier, I don't have a bike, or my hip hurts, or I'm too busy, my kids are running around, and whatever those things are. And yeah, those are real things.
Yep.
But what I love about what you're doing, the kind of person you are, is you're like, yeah, those are real things. And there's also ways through them. Can you help?
There are solutions.
Yeah.
There are paths past that obstacle. Yeah.
You kind of embody this thing that I think about a lot when it comes to folks who are generous and folks who kind of embody the type of like making an impact like you and Kristen and your family do, because you riding 100 miles is kind of the definition of, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go ride 100 miles. What I'm curious about is what moved you from, you could have written and checked all these organizations. What moved you to, instead of just like being passive on the sidelines, supporting with resources, which are all very good things, you became someone who galvanized people towards these causes. You became someone who motivates people towards their own generosity. You live that out with your company all the time. But what was that shift look like for you? Because you could just also write those checks and hang out with your friends and not jump into a lake. But right. you made a different choice. What was that like for you?
Well, Ross, there are so many capable people. And I think as we all age and we get caught in our routines and we're busy with families or careers or whatever it is, we start to say, I've hit my max. I've hit my ceiling.
Sure.
And I think God is never done with us. Like there is so much more that we can do. And God's always calling us to grow purposefully that way. So this is just a little step in that. And the stories I started with the people last year, there have been life-changing experiences that come out of training for this. It's not just about hitting the goal to complete, but like, okay, I'm going to put my mind to something to stretch myself.
Sure.
And those are experiences I want. I think when we stretch ourselves with generosity, with giving, when we stretch ourselves with physical challenges, with learning something new, developing a new skill, there's oftentimes, I think almost always, more in it that we receive than what we're giving out.
For sure.
And people are going to hurt if they try to ride 100 miles. But I would venture to say that everybody is going to get way more out of it than they give.
1,000%. 1,000%. Because you are, dear listener, dear viewer, you are way more capable than you probably give yourself credit for.
Yep.
And also, one of the things that stands out to me, like there are organizations that Lauren and I will be excited about, will send a check to, we will think that what they're doing is really, really cool. And then there's organizations we really partner with and causes we really get behind and people really, really get behind. Mm-hmm. And that's the life change for us. Yes, you can absolutely do that type of generosity. But what I love about even just the sense of come out and support, take pictures as all you hooligans jump into the lake, like whatever that kind of stuff looks like you can take part in this in a really cool way. And that whatever you are planning on doing that day, being a part of this is going to be more fun.
You nailed it. I think being part of something bigger than ourselves is is what we're all called to. And this event is bigger than any one part of like a person riding can't do it unless they have the group supporting them and the volunteers there helping with food and drinks, and they can't hit their fundraising goal without a network of people that support them to do it. And that's been one of the coolest parts is like, if you care about these mental health service organizations, you get to tell your friends that you're taking on this challenge. They're going to support you in it. And now there's 8 people, 15 people that have learned about these organizations that they never knew it before.
Sure.
And that's just raising the impact of what they're doing, because now not only is there more money coming into them, but there's more people aware of their mission and their purpose.
100%. And if you're someone who's taking the time to watch Zac and I talk about this length of time, we're talking about you. So thanks everybody for watching, for listening. Zac, thank you for the time, and also for being genuinely as many jokes as I can make about riding 100 miles with your friends, and how me and my friends will play a board game called Gloomhaven together, which is very different. The fact that you guys are doing this is really, really cool. And I love the fact that you get to help lead by example, a church like ours that's trying to make an impact. And this is a really cool way to do it. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Encounter Faith podcast. This podcast is a service of G. Shep Productions from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Naperville, Illinois. All rights reserved. If you're in the area, we'd love to meet you on a Sunday morning at our 9 a.m. or 10:45 services. At Good Shepherd, we are inviting everyone to walk together in the calling of Christ for a life of eternal impact. This podcast is produced and hosted by me, Ross Cochran. And our theme song is Wake the Earth by 1111 Worship. Thank you for listening. We'll talk again soon.